Let's talk about something that is, well, it's just maddening. You have a great idea, a totally reasonable request, and you put it out there and it just falls flat. Why do people ignore us? We're going to get into the single most powerful secret to getting people to finally listen. And yeah, it has a lot to do with cheesecake.
You know the feeling, right? I mean, you've put together the perfect email. You've practiced your pitch. You ask for something that seems completely logical, and what do you get back? Nothing. Crickets. It is so frustrating, and honestly, it can make you feel kind of invisible. But what if I told you it's not about you, and it's not even really about them? It's all about your bait.
Okay, so imagine you're trying to attract something. You put out some bait that you personally find incredible. Let's say it's a perfect, delicious slice of cheesecake. I mean, who could resist that? But the thing you're trying to catch, it doesn't even give it a second look. See, the problem isn't that your cheesecake is bad. The problem is you're offering the wrong bait entirely.
Right, so this feeling of being ignored, it isn't just bad luck. It actually comes from a really fundamental mistake, a blind spot that, let's be honest, we all have when we're trying to convince somebody of something. So let's really unpack what's going on here.
And that's it. That is the core mistake, right there. We try to catch fish with cheesecake. I know, it sounds really weird, but I promise you, this one little idea is the absolute key to changing how you communicate and, more importantly, how people respond to you.
So what on earth does this phrase actually mean? Well, this powerful idea comes from one of the true masters of human relations, Dale Carnegie. He came up with this brilliant analogy to explain the single biggest mistake we all make when we're trying to get our way.
And there it is. It's so simple, but it's so incredibly profound when you think about it. You might absolutely love cheesecake. You might think it is the best food on the planet. But if your goal is to catch a fish, what you like is completely 100% irrelevant. The only thing that matters is what the fish wants. And look at the difference here. It's just so stark. When your tactic is using your favorite bait, the cheesecake, your result is a big fat 0. But the second you switch your thinking and use their favorite bait, the worm, the results are totally different. This exact same logic works when you're dealing with people. So why is this worm so effective? Well, to get that, we have to look under the hood at the engine that drives pretty much all human behavior, self-interest. And listen, this isn't a cynical take. It's just a practical one.
Every single one of us, you and me included, is fundamentally self-seeking. We see the world through this lens of what's in it for me. We're all motivated by our own needs, our own problems, our own desires. So if you want to get someone's attention, you have to connect with that engine inside them.
Okay, so the theory is crystal clear. Stop serving cheesecake and find their worm. But how do you actually do that in a real conversation, or an email, or with your kids? Well, it all boils down to a really simple, practical process. It really comes down to just these 3 little steps. Before you hit send on that email, before you make that request, just do this quick mental check. First, just stop. Seriously, pause. Our default is to just blurt out what we need. That pause is your chance to break the habit. Second, you ask yourself one critical question. And third, you use the answer to frame your entire request from their point of view. This is it. This is the whole game, right here. Before you ask for a single thing, force yourself to answer this question from their perspective. So for example, the cheesecake way to ask a colleague for help is, "Hey, can you review my report? I'm totally swamped." That's all about you. The worm approach sounds more like, "Hey, I know you're the expert on this client. Could you give my report a quick look? Your insight would be absolutely invaluable for us to land this deal." You feel the difference? The first one is a burden. The second one is an appeal to their expertise and a shared goal. Their worm could be anything: saving time, looking good to the boss, feeling valued. Your job is to figure out what it is. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Doesn't this sound kinda manipulative? But it's the exact opposite. This is not about tricking people. It's about developing a really powerful, practical kind of empathy. It's about taking a moment to see the world from their point of view before you ask them to see it from yours.
So let's recap. Just remember, your brilliant reason is not their motivation. People are fundamentally driven by what benefits them. So your job is to stop talking about your cheesecake and figure out what their worm is. Then frame your entire request around how it helps them get that worm. This simple shift from me to you is probably the most effective communication tool you'll ever have.
So think about your life right now. At work, at home. Where are you serving up cheesecake and just getting ignored? Who is the fish you're trying to influence?
The real question to ask yourself is this: who will you stop serving cheesecake to tomorrow, and what worm are you going to use instead?